Hey guys, that one Brony258 here, back with more Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations. In the last episode, Phoenix Wright was guilty and we failed. Now, with my ginger ale in hand and my knowledge of Phoenix Wright back in my mind, kinda, not really, we will try again from where we left off. That's good. Alright. The truth is, I went because he called me. He was in the pharmacology department, so we agreed to meet at 2:45 behind that building. We talked for a bit, and then at around 3 o'clock we split up. Then later, I went back. I found him lying there. I've been taking Cold Killer X for the last 2 or 3 days, but I lost my bottle of it around lunchtime on the accident. Well, Mia? I don't know. I can't seem to find any contradictions. The boy isn't exactly what I'd call a natural-born liar, you know. But still, we can't have him continue to spout nonsense. I know. But what can I do? Well, I'm certain he must still be hiding something. Information, right? Oh, yeah, I remember saying information. Alright, when all else fails, press him on everything. Had you ever met the victim before then? Victim? No, never. But that day, he called me up and told me he wanted to talk about Dolly. And this Dolly person is my, it's kind of embarrassing. She's my, sweetheart. Oh, what was that for, Mia? Oh, I'm sorry, I just felt like slapping something all of a sudden. Delilah Hawthorne was also the lover of the murder victim, Doug Swallow. Before she met Mr. Wright, that is. So it was one of the nasty love triangles, I see. He's in the farm. Press that. Press it. Ew, gross. Was it Mr. Swallow who indicated who you should meet at 2:45? Yeah, and we were both there right on time. You said the victim was in the pharmacology department. God, I cannot say that word. It's too big and complicated. You said that the victim was in the pharmacology department, correct? Yeah, he was studying how to manufacture and improve. Like, come on, pharmaceuticals. Everyone called him the alchemist of IVU. An alchemist, I see. I gotta admit, it was a little suspicious. He had a whole laboratory and everything. It was filled with chemicals and strange machines that run on high voltage electricity. Oh, how fascinating. He sounds like he was quite the ambitious young man. What do I do? Maybe I should ask him for more details. About the pharmacology? I was wondering if you could tell us more about the pharmacology department. Well, okay, sure. I don't know all that much, though. A little bit earlier in your testimony, you said something interesting. You said the department uses strange machines that run on high voltage electricity. That's right. And they sure look dangerous. They use non-standard voltage, so there are high voltage cables everywhere. High voltage cables? Yeah, there are electrical poles set up all around the building. The high voltage cables run on overhead around the roof. Finally, I think we're getting somewhere. We talked for a bit. So what was it you were talking about? You know, that maybe we should hang out again sometime. Hang out again sometime? I wish that were true. Then later, when I went back, I found him lying there. So you say you went back? Yeah, that's when I found the body. Yes, but why did you go back in the first place? Weren't you angry with him? Well, that's right, I was... Then why, Mr. Wright? Why did you go back there? I thought maybe we can make up. Achoo, achoo! Judging by the atmosphere, I'm pretty sure no one is buying this. I've been taking Cold Killer X for the last 2 or 3 days. It's rather unusual to catch a cold at this time of year, isn't it? Yeah, I always get a little careless when the weather starts to warm up. I guess I shouldn't sleep with my window open this early in the spring, huh? I suppose common sense is not always common. So, did anyone else know that you were taking cold medicine? Well, I always take one after meals, so I'm pretty sure all my friends knew about it. But I lost my bottle of it around lunchtime of the accident. On the day of the incident, what did you do for lunch? Huh? What does that have to do with anything? You can never be too sure. I always eat with Dolly, just the two of us. Dolly's homemade lunches are just the greatest. Her mini omelets are magically delicious. Ouch! Why did you punch me in the jaw? Oh, I'm sorry. I just felt like hurting someone all of a sudden. I think that's enough for now. Ooh, this is something new. Music stopped. So the defendant and the victim met at approximately the time of his death. And then the defendant returned to the scene for some unknown reason. I'm not entirely convinced by this explanation about the medical... Forget it. Let me be frank here, Mr. Wright. Your testimony cannot be trusted. What do you mean? I knew it was too much work for a little girl. However, there is one mystery that still remains. There is, Your Honor. How the murder was carried out, of course. Just how was the victim electrocuted? I don't believe the murder weapon has been produced yet, correct? Well, that is, you are correct, Your Honor. Ooh. So how exactly was Mr. Swallow killed? If I could somehow establish how it was done, maybe I could still come out of this mess smelling like a rose. Your Honor! Yes, Miss Fay? I believe that if we were to piece together everything we've heard up till now, we should be able to solve the mystery of how Mr. Swallow died. That would be most impressive. Quite the brash statement coming from a rookie. But even a beginner like you must understand the basic rules of the court, yes? An attorney must be able to sustain their arguments with evidence. Of course I know that. Actually, I'd totally forgotten about that. Now then, Miss Fay, let me see what you've got. Show me how you believe the victim was electrocuted. This one? Right here. As for the cause of death, I'd say this picture captures it quite well. What? But there's nothing that even remotely resembles a murder weapon here. I'm afraid the defense is going to have to explain this a bit more in detail. Miss Fay, where exactly in this photo is the murder weapon? It's right here. Right. Those wires. Well, naturally, it's right around here, I think. Miss Fay, I'm deeply disappointed in you. I'm disappointed as well, Miss Fay. To be honest, I'm a bit disappointed too, Mia. Achoo. I need to use my brain on this. Come on, Mia. You can strike out here. I'm afraid. They're gonna, like, go right on his back? Right here? Well, naturally, it's right here! That's... What is that? A severed electric cable, I believe, Your Honor. Remember the testimony we heard? The machines the pharmacology students use in their experiments require high voltage, and because of that, there are special high voltage cables strung up everywhere. So then, the high voltage cable... Yes, the high voltage cable is the cause of the death. That is the most likely explanation. It certainly sounds plausible. Well, Mr. Payne, what do you have to say about this? Well, I believe some praise is in order. Don't toy with me, old man. Now, the victim's cause of death may indeed have been a high-voltage cable. However, I want you to think about what that really implies. The only one who had the opportunity to use the cable as a murder weapon was... the defendant. That's you. That much is certainly true. Yes, and that's not all. We have proof. Irrefutable proof that will establish that Mr. Wright was the murderer. You do? Well, what is it? His fingerprints. Fingerprints? You mean that the defendant's fingerprints were something left behind besides the medicine bottle? Let's take another look at the crime scene photo. As you can see, the victim is wearing a leather jacket. As you know, leather jackets hold fingerprints quite well. Ah, you mean... Yes. It was quite clearly imprinted on the jacket's area of the victim's jacket. The palm print of the defendant's very own hand. What? I can only think of one way Mr. Wright could have left a print like that. Intent on murder. He squarely pushed the victim towards the severed electric cable. Order! 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 That's enough! I think we can conclude that there is no reason to continue with this cross-examination. Stick a fork in us. We're done. Mr. Grossberg! My hemorrhoids never lie. The show is over, Mia. I knew that boy was guilty the first time I saw him. No! You're wrong! Mr. Wright is innocent! No further evidence is required to convince me of the man's guilt. Your Honor! At this time, I am prepared to render a verdict in this case.
Hold it!
Do you have something further to add, Miss Fay? Is this what you want, Mr. Wright? You still haven't told us the truth, the whole truth. If you don't say nothing, if you don't say something now, the judge is going to hand down this verdict. But I can't. I just can't say it. If I told you what really happened, then I'd be... It's okay, Mr. Wright. I'm your attorney. You can trust me. Miss Fay, no matter what it is you have to say, I believe in you, and I'll represent you to the very end. Oh, you look so serious now. You've already established the defendant's guilt. There's no further need for him to say anything. Wait a minute, Mr. Wright. I'll tell you what you want to hear. But I've already told you, Mr. Wright. There's no need for further... I did it. I admit it, I pushed him. It's my fault. My fault that Doug Swallow is dead. Oh, not this again. That girl. You shouldn't see her anymore. Hey! It's none of your business. I'm telling you for your sake. If you continue to see her, it's going to be bad news. You're lying! Just listen to me. There's something you need to know about that girl. Stop it! Don't talk about her like that! And push. Ooh. Someone break the silence. What you just said, was that the truth? Yes. I was afraid. Afraid that if I told you the truth, everyone would think I was the murderer for sure. Well, as things currently stand, we're all absolutely convinced you are. But please give me one more chance to explain. This time I swear I'll tell the whole truth. It'll be okay, won't it, Miss Fay? I believe in you. Oh, thank you. I still can't believe it. He really did push the victim. I feel like my hemorrhoids are doing the Harlem Shake. What the hell is he talking about? When I pushed the victim. That guy, he was talking bad about Dolly. I lost my temper and gave him a shove. At that moment, I heard some kind of a loud noise. A little while after I left, I started to get worried. So I went back, but he was lying there, dead. Well, the explanation is really quite simple. When you pushed him, Mr. Swallow fell back and touched the electrical cable. He died from the shock, and that, as they say, is that.
A simple explanation, indeed. At the time of the incident, a light rain had been falling. Wet from the rain, the victim was more easily electrocuted. But when I pushed him, there wasn't any electrical cables nearby. If there had been something like that, even I would have noticed it. That's true. Even a doofus like him couldn't miss that. Miss Faye? Let me warn you right now that if your cross-examination doesn't yield any new facts, I intend to deliver my verdict without further delay. Are we clear on that? Yes, Your Honor. Don't give up, Mia. If he is innocent, there must be some kind of evidence somewhere that will prove it.